Okay, welcome everybody to this webinar where I'll be sharing with you a few tips and a little bit of guidance here on how to protect your crypto, your valuable, very valuable crypto assets. And this is something that's becoming more and more important as time goes on. So much news ongoing about people getting hacked into, their accounts getting hacked into, exchanges getting hacked into. And I think safeguarding our crypto assets is becoming more and more vital. And I think it's important that we educate ourselves about how we can safeguard our cryptocurrencies. So the purpose of this webinar is to, one, educate you a little bit about some of the risks to your crypto assets that are currently out there. And number two, how to manage some of these risks to protect your crypto assets. And I want to make it clear that this is not a complete and comprehensive webinar, because I will probably need like a whole day to kind of go through every aspect of it all, and because it's such a huge area. But consider this a starting point for you to start educating yourself and acting on some of the guidance that I've given if you're not aware of this already. And the Financial Services Authority will not compensate you if you lose your cryptos, and or the Financial Services Authority of whatever country you're in. So in England, in the UK, we are protected if the bank fails up to £85,000. But if we lose our cryptos, or if our crypto company fails, we won't be compensated for anything if we lose anything. So it makes it that much more important for us to be more accountable for our cryptocurrencies. And the responsibility is completely yours or ours. And I strongly, strongly urge everybody to take greater responsibility for protecting their crypto assets. A little bit about who I am. And my name is Ayub Malik, and I've been involved with the cryptocurrency space for the last, I would say, over a year now, about a year, or actually over a year now, actually. And I only really started taking it seriously, more seriously, should I say, back in about September, August, September time. And since then, I've been working with a company called Omni Accounts, and with whom I've actually developed a growing team of more than 200 accounts. So I've got a responsibility to the people who I'm looking after to make sure that they are looked after well, and they manage they know what they're doing, they know what they're getting themselves into when they're involved with cryptocurrencies, and especially how to safeguard their assets. And so that's a little bit about me. And why should we take crypto security seriously? Eric Lark Eveki, I don't know how you pronounce that exactly, but he says that all the hackers in the world are targeting cryptocurrencies. And that's not surprising when you consider the growing value of cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin. When you see how much it's improved and risen, it's becoming more and more valuable, a target for hackers out there. And they're coming out with all sorts of genius ways to try and hack into people's accounts and capture people's coins. And so we need to be extra vigilant, keep ourselves kind of up to speed on what's happening in the crypto space, especially when it concerns security. So this is nothing to be afraid of, but we should definitely be aware of the risks and learn how to manage them to protect our valuable crypto assets. And it's just like, when you're crossing the road, for the first time, you're not really aware of the risks until somebody tells you, or you through trial and error, I guess, you find out exactly how to navigate across the road safely without, losing a limb or two, or a toe or two or something. So, and the same principle kind of applies with cryptocurrencies as well. I mean, it's nothing to be afraid of, but it's something we should be aware of. And I think the more we educate ourselves, the more we gain knowledge of the right kind about security, the less fearful we will be, and the more happy and secure we will feel, and less anxious as well. It's very, very valuable for our health too. I mean, I'll be honest with you, when I first got into cryptocurrencies, I didn't take it very seriously at first. And I had a team member who set up a blockchain account. Blockchain is a globally recognized exchange which has been around for quite a few years now. And Sir Richard Branson's invested heavily into this company called blockchain.info. And they provide a lot of an exchange where you can buy cryptocurrencies, you can sell cryptocurrencies, you can store them, and you can sell them. And they're one of the biggest, one of the most popular exchanges out there. And and I've had an account with a blockchain since May last year, and I've had no problems with it. And I introduced one of my referrals to blockchain.info, telling him about my experience, and he set up an account, and he put £700 worth of his own money into this exchange to buy £700 worth of Bitcoin. This was back in September, and within 3 or 4 days of him opening his account and depositing this money, and once the Bitcoin was deposited into his account, within 1 day that money disappeared. Somebody managed to hack into his account and swipe his money, send his money to somewhere where it became untraceable. And that shocked me. That really put the shivers up my spine about, wow, what the hell just happened here? This is just crazy. And I felt so guilty for, recommending this exchange to him. And even though I've had no problems with this exchange for 5-6 months, and then this was the first direct experience that I had of somebody getting hacked into and losing their money, and then we contacted the customer support, and they said there's nothing we can do. You've got everyone, whoever's the owner of their account, they have full access to their account and the private keys that go with those accounts, and there's nothing more they can do. So he's lost that £700. So that really, I'd really started to stand up and start taking notice to security, and I went crazy on really studying and researching what the possibilities are, how this could have happened. And I started questioning my friend and my referral about what happened to his account that allowed it to be compromised. And it turned out that the main difference between me and him was, even though we've both got the same accounts, we both got the same account with blockchain.info, he had a mobile phone wallet, a mobile phone app of this blockchain wallet on his mobile phone, whereas I did not. So that was the only difference that we found out. And he also told me that his girlfriend had been downloading some illegal music as well on their PC. And that was also something different as well to my experience. So I started to follow the mobile phone thread a little bit more, and I came across various videos and content about how mobile phones are more prone to hacks than computers are. And I was quite surprised by that, actually, because I thought the mobile phone apps would be pretty safe, they'd be very well developed, but I was led to believe otherwise. And so that's how I really got started and started taking it seriously and investigating this. And I want to share with you a little video from a internet security pioneer called John McAfee, where he talks a little bit about the security involving mobile phones and cryptocurrency. So I'm just going to share that with you now. So just bear with me.
I know people, especially in California, a lot of strange people in California, that have $100,000 or more on their smartphone, wherever my smartphone is. I know I have one. Anyway, $100,000 on a smartphone. And they say, well, I'm using the Mycelium wallet, and it's secure. It's secure? Give me your phone number, and in 5 minutes I will have all of your Bitcoins. Now, you think that's bragging. It is not. How do you do it? There are at least 100 million telephones in this world that have spyware on it, including keyloggers. How do you get that? Has anybody ever visited a porn site? None of the people here, good. But those outside who have, I promise you, I don't care which one you visited, you have a keylogger on your phone. How? If it's an Android, the first thing that happens is when you first do a drive-by of the site, it sets the download authorized applications flag on your phone. The first click, if you happen to see something that might be interested, I think I'd like to watch that, you now have the spyware on your phone. You all do if you've been there. Now, who's watching? I have no clue. Janice, is there any water anywhere? Oh, never mind, it's here. Sorry. Who's watching? I have no clue, but neither do you. But whoever it is, it's not anyone who has your best interest at heart. And what can you do with that spyware? Well, not just the keyloggers, but also screen capture. So what can you do? Let's assume you've got the spyware and you have a whole group of hackers somewhere. Russia, the Ukraine, China, Kansas City, I have no clue, but they're somewhere. And they're monitoring all of these tens of millions of phones. And suddenly you're into Bitcoins and you download the Mycelium wallet or some other wallet. Well, what's the first thing that happens? What are your seed keys? Where is it displayed? Now, let's forget about encryption. Let's forget about how secure everybody says these wallets are. To get your seed keys, you have to read them from a screen, do you not? Where is that screen? It's on your phone. Where has that phone been? Maybe to a porn site. All right, so now you have an infected device and someone is watching and they have a piece of software in their keylogger that says, wait for anybody downloading any one of these 25 wallets. As soon as that happens, get ready. As soon as you run it, it'll say, the first screen that comes up will say, do you want your seed keys? Yes, no, whatever. As soon as that click happens, the very next screen is captured. Those are your keys. I now have your keys, if it's me. I'm not saying it's not me or it is me, but whoever it is has your seed keys. What does that give them the power to do? Pardon? Take all of your money. All they have to do is go, yep, I lost my wallet. Here's my seed keys. Will you do it? Oh, good Lord, I have 100 Bitcoins. I forgot that. I want them all now. In fact, convert them to my Ethereum account immediately. And I'm going to convert that to something else. And pretty soon, you can't trace it. You will never find it. And you will never recover it.
There was another report which I came across which showed that 90% of crypto mobile apps are in trouble. And that's quite alarming to me because I know a lot of people actually use their mobile phones or their cellular phones to do a lot of their Bitcoin and crypto transactions. And so let's explore this report a little bit more. Some of the main features was that there's a 94% of apps they found with over 500,000 installations contain at least 3 medium risk vulnerabilities. And 77% contain at least 2 high risk vulnerabilities. And the report also found that some of the most common vulnerabilities included insecure data storage, which means information that should be private can leak unintentionally due to insufficient cryptography, which indicates some form of cryptography was implemented to shield data but was used incorrectly. So this puts you and I, anyone that uses a mobile app to do their crypto transactions at risk. And so this is quite an alarming report. It's quite recently that this was released back in November 29, 2017. So it's still relevant and relatively recent. And but there are ways to manage that. There is a website which I came across called High Tech Bridge, where you can actually go onto this website and you can type in the app that you might be using to and this website, their main focus is actually testing from a technical perspective the security parameters of the app, and I actually tested it out for the blockchain app as well, which I referred to before, where my friend, he had his blockchain hacked into, which I suspect is due to his the vulnerability of his mobile phone app, although I can't be 100% certain with that. And so you can go to this website, HTB Bridge, and you can either upload your mobile app or you can just type in the Google Play app name, and it will actually search it out and upload it for you from the Google Play App Store. and it will do, within seconds, it will do an analysis of the app to verify how secure it is. Whether it's crypto related app or any other related app, it's a very good resource to have. For me personally, I don't use mobile apps to do any kind of crypto transactions after the research that I've done. But I know a lot of people do, so, and they will more than likely continue doing so as well. So for me, I just don't trust it, because John McAfee says that mobile phones, the way that they're designed, or cellular phones, they're designed to be spied upon by all sorts of different companies, mobile app producers, and there are so many avenues for people to spy on what's happening on your phone. And some other points I want to bring up is it's important to be careful where you do your business, and make sure if you're going to send your coins anywhere, make sure you do your research into them, into the background of the company or the people that you're sending it to. How long have they been around? Who's the team behind it? If they've been involved in a lawsuit, don't go with them. So it's important to do your research into anyone that you're going to send any Bitcoin or any of the cryptocurrencies to. And another thing you can do is also look at what other people's opinions of the business on social media, and especially it'd be good to look at and use Trustpilot. It's a very useful website that I've used quite a few times, and where you can actually go there and people leave a lot of reviews, and you can see here for blockchain, there's a lot of 1-star reviews, which is a general kind of condition of bad. So in the sense that they're not a very good company, or they're not very good, they don't have very good customer service. And whereas here you can see Bittrex, someone's given them a 4-star rating. But this is a very good site for you to go and visit and to explore the credibility and trustworthiness of a company before you do any business with them. So that's important to know. And so also when you're copying and pasting the wallet address to send your coins to, for whatever business that you choose to do, make sure that the address matches, once you've copied it, because sometimes, people can copy the whole code but miss off the last digit or miss out the initial character, and then they can end up losing their coins because they didn't pay attention to where they're sending their money. And also, there have been reports of computer malware, which could be lying dormant on your computer for months, maybe even years, and until you download or do any kind of Bitcoin transaction. And it has a way of recognizing that you're copying like a wallet code, like you can see on the screen there. And somehow it manages to alter some of the letters and the numbers in that wallet code that you're going to be using to send your coins to. And the money ends up going to a hacker or a fraudster, basically, if you don't pay attention. So whenever you're copying and pasting wallet addresses, it's very important to pay close attention, double check, triple check that the details you entered in are exactly the same as when you copied them. So that's just basic common sense, but you'd be surprising, actually, common sense isn't so common these days. And so that's that. And a few other points I wanted to make regarding security best practice is make sure you do your crypto transactions on a good, clean, and up-to-date device that does not visit illegal websites to download illegal music, watch porn, or other illegal shows or movies. You don't know what TTDs you might pick up. So TTDs are technology transmitted diseases, as opposed to STDs. And so that's important. And also when creating passwords for any of your crypto accounts, make sure that they are at least 12 characters long, and keep them stored on an offline device, ideally, e.g. a memory stick or a diary or something similar to that. And also on top of a strong password, seek out and use two-factor authorization wherever it is available to add that extra layer of protection. So that's also very important as well. You don't want to make it easy for any hackers to get into your accounts. And also it's important to have good antivirus and malware software on all devices that you use for crypto transactions. So if you do have a device where you choose to download illegal music or movies or questionable websites, then keep that separate from your device that you use for your crypto assets, and because you don't want to mix the two together. It's not a healthy combination. So also, this is something that's come to light in recent months for me as well, is avoiding using mobile authentication wherever possible. Because there have been many reports. Coinbase also have this on their website whenever I log in as well, of where they give a notification that to switch from mobile phone authentication to two-factor authorization using Google Authenticator, because there have been many reports of people porting other people's phones and using that other person's number to gain access to people's accounts through lost passwords. And so that's also a risk factor that we can kind of eliminate if we avoid using mobile phone or cellular phone authentication wherever possible. And it's also important to tell your mobile phone provider or cellular phone provider to add a specific do not port and no call forwarding to your account. It's quite a simple thing to do. You just need to give them a call and ask them to make action that for you to prevent any hackers out there from copying your number onto another SIM card and using your number for their own nefarious purposes. So that's that. And phishing attacks are also quite common and a common threat to cryptocurrencies as well. And this is something that's on the increase, and it's going to get worse as cryptocurrencies become more and more popular and more people start to plow more and more energy and money and resources into trying to hack into people's accounts and steal people's cryptocurrencies. And what are phishing websites? Phishing websites are kind of websites that are designed to look and feel like the original authentic website. There might be some slight difference, some slight change. As you can see in the image above, you can see there's myetherwallet.com.co. That is not a legitimate web address for the MyEther wallet. And MyEther wallet is a wallet that which stores a lot of Ethereum tokens. And I've got a MyEther wallet account myself. On their website, when I go on there, they're very, very strong on educating people about making sure they visit the right websites and triple checking that we're not going to a phishing website where you would go in, you might enter in your account details. And what in the back end, what they're doing is they're capturing your account details, your login, your password, and then they'll use that information to log in on the legitimate website and access your cryptocurrencies, access your funds, and steal your money. So you want to avoid that. So that's something that's very important to be mindful of. Always use HTTPS. So you can actually type those letters in before entering any web address into your web browser. Be mindful, as I mentioned, of what the correct full address is for your crypto website. So you recognize it instantly, and you can recognize also a phishing one or something that looks slightly different to the original authentic website. And so that's something to be aware of as well. And where possible, it's also important to take your cryptos offline and not keep them on a centralized exchange. I know this is not an easy thing to do because there isn't an ideal storage device out there that would cater for all the cryptocurrencies out there. There's literally 1,600 plus cryptocurrencies out there, and it's growing, week by week, more and more coming on board, and they all have their unique properties and qualities, and it makes it really difficult for anyone that provides storage and security to kind of keep up with the level of cryptocurrencies that are being churned out. So yeah, wherever possible, take your cryptos offline and not kept on a centralized exchange, because a centralized exchange is not decentralized, which is like what cryptocurrency is meant to be. And a centralized exchange is a centralization of your crypto assets. And these centralized exchanges tend to be honeypots for hackers out there to challenge themselves and their colleagues and peers to hack into those accounts. This is something that is being remedied as we go on, because more and more people are realizing there's a need for decentralized exchanges. And but at the moment, the main popular exchanges like Bittrex and Binance and others, they are centralized exchanges. So that's something to be aware of as well. And another method is also to reduce your risk is to store your cryptos across different exchanges. And so that way, if one of these exchanges gets hacked into, fails, if it collapses, something happens to them, then you don't have all your eggs in one basket. So that's also a very important point, is to spread your risk across different exchanges, and where possible, take your cryptos offline. And one of the best methods of doing that for me that I found is with the Ledger Nano device. If you don't have one, I highly recommend you get one, especially if you're involved with Bitcoin and Ethereum and Dash and Stellar Lumens and probably about 15 or 20 other coins that this Ledger device does support. And I've been using this, and it's brilliant. It literally, you can't make any transactions with this device without physically pressing buttons. So if a hacker was to hack into your account, they would need physical access to your physical Ledger Nano device before they'd be able to steal your money. So that gives you that extra layer of security there. But there are other ways to safeguard these assets as well. So if you do buy a Ledger Nano S, which I highly recommend, strongly recommend to everybody, then there are redundancy measures that they will teach you to safeguard your cryptocurrencies in case the device breaks down or one of the buttons break down. Then you'll be able to access your cryptocurrencies in a different way through 24 keywords that you can store in several different places and several different locations. Okay, somebody has asked here, should we check our Omni accounts with our phones? I would say make sure that on your phones that you've got good security on there. And there are lots of free antivirus and malware software that you could download. Do a bit of research into some of those, and make sure you have one installed on your mobile device. And I think you should be fine as long as you're not accessing, going to illegal sites, watching porn or downloading illegal music or movies from sites which have keylogging software on them, that can spy on what you're typing in or even take screenshots without you even being aware of them. Then, this is something, we need to be very careful of. So, I've used my phone to access our Omnia accounts, so I've had no problems with them since I've been working with Omnia since September. You should be fine as long as you just watch points and make sure that you, about where you visit, and make sure you've got good internet security on your phone. Okay, so any more questions? Like Norton's, like Norton's would be good. That's a good one. I've not used them before myself, so I can't speak from experience about Norton, but do your research into them and find out what other people have said and how other people have used Norton to protect themselves from, and then, and if you get good reviews, and feel free to use them, So any more questions, anybody? I'm happy to answer or have a chat with anyone. Like I said, this is not a comprehensive webinar. There's a lot more I could talk about, but I just wanted to give you a brief summary of points to look out for and guidance and tips to follow. And I hope it's been useful for you. Somebody's asked, should I remove storage app from my mobile cell? Storage app. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Wally. Can I unmute you? Aloha, how are you doing?
I'm great.
Yeah.
I do have my Jack's Wallet app on my cell. So would you then recommend that I remove it from my cell phone?
And it depends on how you use your mobile phone as well. Because I know, like I said before, if you've got good internet security, if you've got good antivirus on your mobile cell, then I think it should be fine. But also, I would also type in the word Jax into that website that I mentioned to you before. If anyone wants any links or references to anything that I've mentioned, I'm happy to send them to you. Just drop me an email. Actually, I'll type in the email, and then you can have a look at the security credentials of that particular app, and then you can make a decision from there. That will help you to make a decision. How long have you been using Jax for?
Let's see, when I bought my Dash, so it's been about 2 months.
2 months, okay. Have you had any issues with it so far?
Oh, no.
No. Okay. A lot of it boils down to how you're using the device at the end of the day. If you make sure you're going to legitimate, authentic websites, you're not going to websites that may be ridden with viruses and malware, and which a lot of these, porn sites and illegal music sites and movie sites have, then I think you can say you're pretty safe. Again, I think it's best. I mean, I would, if I were you, I wouldn't use my mobile phone. Have a wallet stored on there. That's just me, but I know other people do. So I don't want to say not to do it, because I know other people have used it and they've not had any problems with it. So everyone's different, but I know that mobile phones, from my experience, from my research, are more vulnerable to hacks than computers are. That's what I've discovered. So you can take that as you want.
I do have a question. What about photos? And I say that because for training purposes, I've made photos of my back office. I guess I should just delete those.
Yeah, as long as you're not showing any kind of passwords or any pictures of passwords and any sensitive information, you should not be storing on your mobile device. Keep them offline if you need to, maybe on a memory stick or on a diary or a paper record or something. But if you're keeping a lot of sensitive information on your phone, then that is liable to hacking, especially if you've got key logging software on there or screen capture software on there without you even knowing that it's there. And so this is a danger. And John McAfee says it's going to get worse. This is the thing. As time goes on, as cryptocurrencies grow in popularity and in recognition and in value, more and more people are going to plow so much more money into this, into trying to hack into people's accounts. And it's up to us to really stay on top of security and do whatever it takes to reduce the risk of exposing our sensitive information to the web.
I agree. Now I'm much more aware and in fear.
Yeah. And that fear will be eliminated if you educate yourself more. It's like I was saying at the beginning, education. If the more you know about something, the less fearful you become of it. You just know how to navigate around it. So I've not been hacked in the year or so that I've been working with cryptocurrencies, touch wood, and I've been very careful with how I manage my assets as well. So, and I hope that that happens for you guys as well. So yeah, does that help?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
This was awesome.
Sure, thank you. So somebody's asked, where is the best place to order a ledger? If you drop me an email, I'll send you the link, because this is another thing as well. Sometimes people have bought ledger devices from Amazon or a third-party seller, and that device has actually been hacked into before it goes out to the person. So it's already been compromised before it's even reached the customer. So it's important to buy your security devices from the real legit and authentic website, and like I did, and not from a third party or even from a person that of Craigslist or some secondhand marketplace, online marketplace, wherever it might be. So if you drop me an email, you've got my email on the chat box. I will send you the actual website. So thank you all for listening and joining me, and I hope you got some value from this, and God bless you all. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.